Good evening, Super League fans. I hope you're all watching. Hope you're all ready for round 13 of the Super League action. We're halfway, or just about to be halfway through the season, so it'll be interesting to see how the teams stack up at this point. As you can see, it's very tight in the middle there, from second down to 10th. Very competitive for these for the top six spaces. It's going to be a little bit of a quick one tonight. We do have a few things that we need to sort out with regards to the transfer market after the show, so it's going to be a fairly quick show tonight. Fortunately, I'm joined by two experts. So we've got Ryan and we've got Andreas. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Yeah, hi everybody. Glad to
And
be back.
yeah, it's good to have you back, Andreas. And if I can maybe just ask you, Andreas. So you had a bit of maybe a disappointing result. How do you see that one last weekend? 0-0 with Hoddesdon Hornets.
Yeah, disappointed we couldn't score against them. Really, yeah, lackluster offense. Totti has been really cold as of late, so yeah, have to do something about that.
Yeah, I mean, had some shots on target, but as you mentioned, it's maybe not been the best performance so far and nothing happened clearly,
Yeah,
and not the best performance from Totti recently, and also Saviola is not really. I mean, he's got 4 goals and 3 assists, and he's not playing bad stats wise or performance wise apparently, but still maybe not as good as you'd
uh,
perhaps hoped for.
the
Um,
strikers has done good. It's the AMC I'm disappointed with.
yeah, I mean, especially considering how. Um, I won't say talked him up, but you were quite keen on Totti before the start of the season that he was going to be the one of your star players, or certainly someone you would definitely keep in your squad. And he's not really played a really big key role yet. Any changes that you're planning on making with him, or maybe resting him for a game or two, or is that out of the question?
He could sit a game maybe, but not yet. Today I will test him in the midfield instead of AMC, so we'll see that.
Yes, I guess we will. I've, I've, al- I'm pretty sure I've done all the tactics, but if you come across anything, you, Andreas, you're usually good at spotting when I've put two keepers on or something like that. So if there's anything that looks untoward or strange, then please let us know. If we go back a bit here, Ryan, you had a little bit more fortuitous result there, 2-1 win against Hooligans, who had a red card, but you were doing quite well in the game anyway.
Yeah, over the moon with the performance and the result. Really tough place to go. I wasn't really expecting much before the game, so yeah, over the moon with the performance, and yeah, the result is fantastic.
Yeah, 3 points away from home, especially in a place like Hooligans. I think we I spoke with someone at some point over it that it's a difficult you count on getting some away points, but perhaps not against Hooligans. So a good result for you guys. And Thierry Henry finally getting some goals. Um,
Yes, surprise omission from Team of the Week. I was getting a 10 and the winner away at Hools and didn't get a look in, but there we are.
Yeah, it's one of these things. I mean, maybe I don't think I think, well, I know that we don't distribute the individual player stat screens, so maybe people had forgotten that he'd had both an assist and a goal in that game. So, well, a decent performance from Thierry Henry, and maybe rewarding a bit of that trust by letting him play sort of regularly. So a decent result for you. Maybe just quickly, if there's any of the other results, Andreas, any surprises for you? I mean, Dragons getting a good result for Palmouth United. How do you see that Dragon side with Giggs at left back, isn't it? Or left wing back. He
Yeah,
got a 10.
I don't think it will work in the long run. This is like at home. Anybody in this league can win to anyone, but I don't think this will tactic will bring enough points for a playoff spot. No.
With Giggs in the left back position.
Uh,
And
no, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, and Ryan, BTEC and Swindon, we kind of have to talk about it a little bit. That was a dramatic end to that game with 3 goals for BTEC in the space of 6 minutes, Lewandowski style, and then Contra chipping in with an equaliser there against his own side.
It was madness. That's why we love the Super League. Um, obviously, I watch the show live, and then I usually watch my own game back a couple of days later just to try and pick up stuff. I actually watched this game back as well because I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, really good game. Ian, after coming back, with from 2 down to lead 3-2. We must have been absolutely gutted at the end, and then Saifi, I know, was tearing his hair out. So
Yeah, definitely. And but I mean,
crazy game.
he had two shots on target and getting 3 goals. You can't complain too much about that. I mean, it's a decent return.
It is indeed, yeah.
But yeah, certainly a much better second half performance by BTEC, and eventually they got the reward. Well, they thought they'd gotten the reward of all 3 points, but it ended up with just being the two. We spoke about it previously before we went live. Of course, now is the transfer market opening up for the deal. So there's a number of Super League deals that have been agreed already, and you've all very kindly submitted a bunch of other deals for me to have a look at. So this will be hopefully as many as possible will be completed tonight. And I will be sending out a short update at some point just to confirm which deals have gone through and which deals have not. Presumably they will all go through, but of course there are instances where the various boards can reject things for different reasons. There could be failed medicals, there could be other things. So hopefully you'll all be informed about that shortly. So that's going to take place later tonight. So looking forward to sharing that with you.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. It appeared as if it was a good idea at the time, and maybe it is. Maybe it will be a great idea, and there will be some excellent additions from outside the Super League to some of the clubs as well. We've got, I think, everyone bar one manager who's still waiting for a confirmation of an internal Super League deal. I think the 13 other managers have all had a bid out for a non-Super League player. So we'll see if we get some new blood into the league, some kind of nationalized foreigners. I think there's quite a few sort of Australians hanging about around the world that we're trying to get in, but there are also a few that were not on the list. So a few from the shortlist. So all positive, but we'll see how that goes. Um, Not really so much else to say other than that's going to take quite a long time. So for that particular reason, we're going to kick off tonight's actions off pretty much straight ahead with Astor Athletics. We're going to go from the top today. So Andreas, you're last. That's how it
That's
is.
fine.
Even
Yeah.
even even when you're away because you're playing Swindon, you're still last. So that's how it goes. Um, let's have a quick check here. I'll see if we can go through. So if we look at Astor Athletics, so Alf, although he claimed to have turned a corner with his outgoing arrows on his defensive midfielders, he's put them forward this week. So he's trying something a little bit different, maybe being at home. But that seems to be the only change formation wise. Rosicky is in.
Yeah.
Ryan, anything, or Andreas, anything? Sorry, who was talking?
not-
Finally dropped the breaking. He's been dreadful lately, so that's a good drop.
It's positive. Yeah, Ryan, would you agree?
Yeah, who's he dropped there?
Brooking,
Sorry, he's dropped
Brooking.
Bruggen. Yeah, he's also dropped Nikolai as well. It looks like, unless he's injured.
True. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think he's mixed it up a little bit. Obviously, it's still the super narrow.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I do like the tactic a little bit more than his last week's one. So hopefully he can get some goals, which he's been lacking recently.
And no arrows for the AMCs, is that correct?
Yeah, that it appears to be correct. I mean, well spotted, but I am fairly convinced. I mean, I will double check my file obviously before we before we kick off the game. I'll double check that that's correct, but I definitely think so.
Alf's on comms, so I'm sure he'll let you know if it's not.
He'll point it out if there's anything on towards there. So dragons are forced into
Guardiola is in.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little bit I think some injuries perhaps that had forced him to do various changes. I can't remember who it was that was injured. I mean, he's
It's his
maybe
right wing back.
suspended. I think he's
He's yet,
suspended. I think he's got a suspension on Ndiaye, maybe. Is that the guy that he would normally play in there? So Guardiola is
yeah.
playing, and Van der Meijden got injured in the last game. So Giovanni's on the right side. Curtis stays on. He got a 9. So and Robbie Keane is obviously playing. So there should be chances for the Super League guys anyway.
Yeah, I would say that he didn't. Jamie Carragher come off the bench and get a goal last time out as well. So I'm a bit surprised to see he's not started this week.
Yeah, he did
Uh,
actually. I think he only got a 7 to be fair, but he did definitely get a goal. Maybe he's just looking for a little bit more attacking creativity on that side. So Alpha's just confirmed that that's indeed the roles that he has with the no arrows. And I can see Ian asking, has NDI played his last game for the Dragons? Well, considering he was on the list that I posted saying these people are being transferred, then yes, he definitely has, unless he's selling him to himself or unless he returns. But for the moment, yes, that role he has definitely played his last game for the club if the transfer
I,
goes through.
I will say
A
that
month.
this formation that Dragon plays, it's not good away from home. I'm not sure 100% sure about the record, but this formation has not worked for almost any club away from home. This is a home formation.
That's actually a relatively good point. Ryan, did you play this one at the start of the season as well in your away games? I mean, I think Hodges
No,
stuck pretty much to
I had
this
the
one.
wide wingers, didn't I, in my early
Mm,
games? But I will say
true.
I know that Ardsley played it quite a bit away from home, and it's not really at BTEC as well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I kind of tend to agree with Andreas there. It's a strong home formation. I think I will generally go with one striker away from home anyway. I'll probably go with one striker at home, but
Well, the
definitely not
way
away
the
from.
way uh, the way Figo's been playing, you can't really not play him in that attacking midfielder role. So that's obviously that helps it along a little bit, the decision making. Any predictions for this one, Ryan? What do you think?
I think you. I'll be surprised if it's not a home win. I don't like Giggs and Giovanni in those positions as much as they did well last week. I think Alf will scrape this one, maybe 1 or 2-0.
And Andreas, who do you think? You've said that the away formation is not good, so I'm guessing you're going to go with a home win.
Yeah, well, Astor is in really poor form, but now it's time to turn the table on that. I think it's a secure home win.
Okay, well we'll kick it off and we'll see how it goes and how the new guys will perform for Asta as well, or if Dragons have really found Hasselbank. So he's in after being left out for a while. So Alf will be pleased with getting him on the score sheet for sure.
Yes, Jimmy Floyd.
Yeah. I mean, he's good for a good few goals, isn't he? I think he's a decent enough striker, Super League level, I would say.
Completely agree.
But perhaps hasn't had as many chances. I think it's been a little bit the last sort of 6-7 games for Alf. The strikers have not really been up to a whole
Ooh,
lot. I think Paulista is the natural replacement there, isn't he? Brooking is. Oh, I don't know. Either way, we'll keep Brooking off in case he needs to come in. So I'll put Paulista on here. That's unfortunate. But again, Del Piero is another one who hasn't really delivered much recently, has he? So the question of
You know,
how much you'll miss him.
yeah, he's not a with the injuries, Alf, has he? Had a few this year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll hope for Del Piero's sake it's nothing as serious as Boyes. We'll maybe have a look at the fitness here at halftime. So a fairly sort of flat first half maybe from the Dragons side. They're not creating anything. So Andreas, I think maybe you so far you're right with your prediction of this being a home tactic and not really working that well away from home. If we look at the Dragons players first, central defenders doing quite well and the rest of them not really delivering much. Viduka again, I mean. Will he ever score? How many games is he going to play without a goal? Um, any observations about the away team and their tactics and their performance so far?
I think
uh,
you've just hinted at it there. It's the lads going forward who are struggling, isn't it? Montella getting a 6, Ridicu at a 5. It's not good enough from. I think they're two good class strikers on the game. It's just whatever he's got them doing, it's not working. Um, I mean, all his goals are coming from Robbie Keane. So if Robbie Keane's not firing in, then he's going to struggle.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Andreas, what do you think about the Astor side? You said it looks as if they're still not really on form. We can see that Del Piero's only down to 61, so it's probably not such a bad injury. So does it look to you as if they're still struggling for form a little bit, or
yeah,
is
a
this a
little bit. I think Emerson should, because he's extremely good, and he should excel in that midfield position.
mm,
But not really in form. So I guess that's a key player right now for Alf to get going again.
mm-hmm. And
I was just asked, how's Lerman doing? Has he got any instructions on Lerman? Is that a hint for something? Or...
I don't know. He's doing okay. I don't know if he wasn't meant to if he wasn't meant to start. I think it's Lehman who's starting. He's doing fine. He's getting a 7. He saved the one shot the Dragons had on goal. So you can't really fault him for that. Um, Any way back into this? I mean, Dragon Destroyers. Ryan, what do you think? Robbie Keane goal, or is Alf going to see this out?
I think Alf will see it out. He's got a chance. I mean, I think with those attacking players, if they turn up, they'll score goals. But away from home and even at home, really, they've not been turning up that much this season. So I think Alf will see it out either 1-0 or maybe get a second.
Mm-hmm. And Andreas, you're sticking with a safe and secure home win, I take it.
Yeah, I think me and Ryan are probably on the same page on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll kick off the second half anyway with Robbie Keane and what he can do. Obviously, you never know. I mean, you do see a bit of red flashing up there, but they've not really had the shots on target. So we'll see if.
My stream's frozen.
Oh.
Okay, I can see everything.
Yeah, I mean it's running on I think on both YouTube and the.
No, I think it's just because I'm got the Skype on the phone and then I'm actually watching the live stream on YouTube.
Okay. Oh.
Ooh, Montella.
Oh,
that's good news for whoever's buying Montella. Is that someone we know?
He got 2 last week as well, isn't he? He's a class player.
He's an informed striker. So it's looking like more and more of a.
Oh, so close! He had so many chances in the last minutes. It felt like, but no.
Yeah, it stayed like that. So I mean, a decent result for Dragons. That's a bit of a comeback for them as well. I mean, I know it's only a draw, but considering their early season form, to get a draw away from home, that's good. They've got to be pretty happy with that, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a good away formation that he's using there.
Yeah, it works well in the second half. Yeah, he came up with a few chances. Andreas, it worked out a little bit better, and than we'd maybe expected in the second half. I mean, Carini obviously helping the proceedings along with getting a 9.
I still think it's more that Aster is in really bad form and yeah.
Yeah, strikers lacking confidence maybe.
Not too convinced about Dragons yet.
Ryan, there's
Yes.
lack of confidence maybe in the Aster camp. I mean, the Smith and Hasselbank with plenty of shots on goal, but
yeah, maybe whether this super narrow formation's been found out a little bit. I know pre-season he said he wouldn't change his formation at all season. He's now made 2 changes in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, Hasselbank, Smith, not been scoring that much. Yeah, you'd think at home to Dragons he could get 3, maybe 4 goals. To get 1 and then not pick up the win, he'll be gutted again.
Yeah.
But he's lacking a really star player, striker. He's got decent strikers, but no star players.
Yeah, true. I mean, Smith is still quite young in the game, isn't he? Smith is still quite young in the game. I mean, he has got 5 goals, but I think they were like mainly in the first couple of games.
Yeah.
Hasselbank as well has just come on now. I mean, they're all good strikers, but as you point out, I mean, if we include Nicolau as well, maybe they're not the best. Yeah, and as Alf points out himself, that's a 6 for Alessandro Nesta. That's also not incredibly satisfying, I would have suggest. So, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they move on. We're halfway through the season. There's still obviously a lot to play for, but both teams would have perhaps. I mean, Dragons will be the happier side, won't they, with that 1 point away from home at Aster, I think. So
definitely, that was the turning point for me. My away points at Aster.
That's true. You were the first team to take points off Aster, weren't you?
Yeah, I'd lost every game before that, pretty much.
And they'd won all of them. Yeah, well, it's like every game in the Super League is kind of like a cup final form. Sometimes goes out the window anyway. But a good all-round performance there from Dragons to get that point. Certainly brought it back in the second half, helped on by Carini, as Fifey points out there. Certainly an early Team of the Week contender with his 9 and that performance. We're moving swiftly on to BTEC, who are at home to Churchtown. So BTEC were involved in that 3-3 kind of super exciting game that we had last time out. He is going with Pizarro's back up front, so that's something to be satisfied with. Andrea,
didn't Inzaghi score last game?
Sorry?
Didn't Inzaghi score 1 or 2 goals last game?
Yeah,
it's strange that he puts him on the bench.
Yeah, I think he's got kind of like an affection for Martin Palermo, and I think Pizarro have to play, considering, I mean, I think they've done okay, BTEC, but they haven't got that many goals. And I think Pizarro, I think he probably feels that he has to play. What else has he got? He's got Contra still on the right back, despite scoring that. He didn't get punished for that last minute own goal. But apart from that, it's kind of a familiar side, like Hauer in midfield and Danielson. And you think this formation works better for as a home tactic?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah,
Well,
I'm not really. Yeah, I think so.
It's exactly the same as what Jamie just used, isn't it? You've got the
yeah,
long arrows on the side. So yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Ibrahim Said in the middle. I know he had a fantastic season last season in the Super League, Claudio Pizarro, but I think he's probably the weakest of his strikers from my champ manager experience, kind of thing. But he's so strong with Denilson and Dyer, Contra, Kivu, Stam. I can't understand his form at all, why he's down there. He's got to be playing his strongest team though, and Vogel's 10 times the player that Said is, especially this early in the game.
Yeah, it's just been a performance issue, hasn't it? With Vogel with 9 games and a 6.22 average, it's kind of difficult to keep defending the decision to include him in the squad. So that's probably it. And Saeed has been, I mean, he's younger and perhaps a little slightly weaker, but he has got 760 average, so he has been performing a little
No,
bit
I
better.
understand.
But if you're looking at it from a results perspective, you can also say, I mean, whatever the score is, if you're still losing, does it really matter if your players get a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10? If you're losing, then maybe it's not so important. Uh, Kieran is sticking with his. He's not completely sticking with the same because Edgar Davids is back, so that's going to be a big boost for him. I mean, he's keeping Jeremies on because I think Jeremies originally came in for Davids, but Jeremies has. Oh, that's Barry Ferguson. Jens Jeremies has done 780 average, and it's kind of difficult to leave a guy like that out, and just eights along the way. So Davids comes in, and he persists with these 3 guys here. So Ryan, how do you see Churchtown's chances away to BTEC here?
Well, do you know what? I really like the formation. I tried it on a home side this week and it worked a treat for me. Um, yeah, I think he's got an absolutely fantastic starting 11. I think I picked him as one of my favourites pre-season. Now he's got Ferguson and Davids back fit. I think his strongest lineup. I think he's got someone else at attacking midfield. I think it's maybe slightly stronger than Edmundo. I can't remember his squad off the top of my head though. But yeah, if he keeps them players fit, I can see him doing a lot of damage. I think I'd have him as slight favourites going into this game just on form.
hmm And Andreas, how do you see this one going? Home win, away win, draw?
It's a really open game, I think. I think given the lineups, I think Churchtown should be maybe slight favorites, but BTEC has been one of those teams that you never know what kind of BTEC you will see.
hmm Yeah, even in one game, they can be completely
Yeah.
different in one half to the next. That's true, actually. So, and Con Diomis, I think, is a new referee. So we'll kick this one off, and we'll see what happens. Fife is guessing Churchtown by 2. So we'll see how everyone's predictions pan out. But they certainly got an early goal. That was Edmundo. And that was Edmundo again. Oh, disallowed. Oof, that would have been some start with 2 goals in the first 4 minutes if that had been allowed to stand. Oh, and another
Yeah.
disallowed goal.
Oh my word!
BTEC is does not have a good defense.
They
Really lacking something there.
and
Oh, from bad to worse.
yeah, I mean you can put Palermo in the middle and hope for the best. Um, Yeah, that's not gone well, to be honest, and that's him just coming back from injury. So now he's back out for another game, Pizarro. So he'll get a chance to play Inzaghi or whoever it was that had done well recently to come in. And now there's an injury for Said. It's not really. I mean, for those people who perhaps speculated that having the chairman visiting yesterday, as I was down in Barrow with Ian, that would somehow work out in his favor. Um, no, that's definitely not what has happened.
Not good at all, is it?
That's not.
Disaster.
I mean, 2-0 down, 2 goals disallowed, Pizarro sent off and Said injured. It doesn't get much worse than that, does it? Really? We'll have a look at these. Does it say when they were disallowed? Was it both of them offside? I think so. Yeah,
The first
Edmundo
one was offside, yeah.
ruled out for a side. Edmundo was in an offside position. Then there was another one, wasn't there? Was that before?
It's
Was that
also
not
offside.
Churchtown?
There's
Yeah.
another one, yeah. Edmundo
It's Edmundo.
fractionally offside twice. At least he got a goal. Um, Rebound fell to Contra. Pizarro pushed Robin in the chest. Sent off. We had one of them last week for pushing in the chest. Was it Raul who got pushed in the chest against Hooligans? And that was a, I think that was a, was that the one that was a red card as well? It was something like that anyway. Uh, does anyone have anything to add? Anything have any positive or words of encouragement for B-Tech?
What's the shot?
It's only 2.
What's the shot count? Did you say,
Yeah.
Andrea? Not good. Not good.
This can be a real stomping.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it works out in the second half for Churchtown, but they're obviously, I mean, doing very well. Apart from being caught offside a couple of times, they're doing very well. I'm just going to ask what's going to happen in the second half, but I take it we're going away win for this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can't see much changing.
I mean,
It's
we'll.
a question of how many.
Yeah, I mean, they've Edmundo, who apparently was the weakest of the three. It always works like
Who
that,
said
doesn't
that?
it?
Who said that?
And Van Nistelrooy back in the goals as well. I mean,
is this the biggest away from home away win so far this season? I think so. Yeah.
It could be. It definitely could be. I mean, considering the circumstances of being down to 10. Yeah, I mean that
That's a hammering.
yeah, that's not gone well. I mean, but whatever said about the tactic, I don't think that the tactic is probably okay. I don't think those players are working for. I just don't think he's getting the most out of these
No.
players in this particular tactic. I'm not sure if the wide tactic, if Lee Young Pyo, I don't know. I mean, I don't rate him at all. I know that other people think he's good, but I don't know. Is he good enough out there? They've played okay, but you know what I mean. They're 7-8, 8-8, 7-8, 755 average Cosmin Contra. But has he contributed positive to BTEC's performances this season?
It's strange because Danielson was in the midfield now, and was he that last game also? Because he's been really good in the AMC before.
Yeah, he's like he's the most creative player, scoring goals. I think he's the one who has like 3 goals from direct free kicks and a couple of assists as well, and generally played really quite well. Yeah, so it's strange, yeah. But again, like I mentioned, the averages aren't that bad. I mean, you think if you're the receiving end of a 4-0, you're gonna have at least some sixes or something in. I mean, Pizarro getting a 5 for getting sent off, fair enough. Danielson's the only one with a 5. I mean, why are all the other players getting a 7 when they're allowing this kind of stuff against them?
Strange, isn't it? That's very strange.
It is a little bit, isn't it? Ryan, Barry Ferguson, he's back, and that's very important for Churchtown, isn't it?
Well, yes, he's one of the best centre midfielders in the game. Well, I mean, that's a complete performance. That, isn't it? I mean, all his teams put in a solid one. His defenders have only got 7s, but they've had nothing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ferguson a 10, 2 for Edmundo. I mean, an assist and 2 goals for Van Nistelrooy. I mean, who's been come under a bit of criticism in the past, Van Nistelrooy in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Kieran will be over the moon with that. 2 big wins with that new formation.
Yeah, I mean that certainly worked out well for him. It's kind of similar to, I think, was he the first team to beat Astor maybe, and he had like a kind of a strange mega attacking kind of thing going on as well. So yeah, interesting to see this tactic working relatively well. It's not hugely different to Alf's tactic or to Thiago's tactic, but maybe a little bit of a development on top of it, maybe with the way those 3 attacking midfielders line up instead of the 2 strikers. So yeah, it's worked out well for him. For Ian, back to the drawing board with yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can give advice to anyone, and they don't have to listen. I still think he needs to try it at least for a couple of games. Try a narrow formation. It's not as if he's got much to lose at this point of the season, but. Any words of advice or encouragement for BTEC? How they get the most out of their on paper decent squad?
Yeah, he just needs to try something different. I kind of agree with you though. It's what he's doing at the minute doesn't seem to be working. Yeah, he's definitely got the players in there. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not a huge fan of the narrow formations, but it seems to be working well for Kieran. So maybe just have a look at something different and see how it gets on.
Yeah.
Maybe it could go something like the Shadwell formation with the wide normal midfielders. Could be like the Nilsson and Contra could be running forward from the midfield. Maybe if he doesn't want to go narrow, but yeah, I kind of agree with Lee. He's not good enough.
Yeah,
Has
and
he
I
got?
mean,
I don't think he's got the how many DMCs has he got? He's got Vogel and his number 2 Said. I don't know if he's got the right amount of
Yeah,
yeah,
might.
DMCs in his squad to do that. I don't know.
no. I mean, it's worth looking at anyway. I don't think this tactic has. I think the shelf life's expired for this tactic. I mean, I know it comes and goes in cycles. In in the Super League, then one thing is the done thing. The Super Narrow's the done thing. Then Timmy's formation is taking hold, and now Palmer's many defensive midfielders have done quite well. And Andreas, your tactic, which is more like this kind of pineapple style shape, this ball in the bottom, has also done well. So it kind of comes and goes in cycles, and also depends on what players we have. But I think this one's got to go, to be honest, from my perspective. Of course, being down to 10 doesn't help, but he was already 2 goals down and I mean, he could have been 4 goals down by the time he had Pizarro sent off if those 2 hadn't been ruled out for offside. So yeah, not the best. Onwards and upwards, and next up we have got let's see if I can do this correctly. We
Oh,
have got.
Nikiforenko was injured, I saw. Didn't
Yeah,
see that.
Nikiforenko was injured. Next up, we've got Bolton Phoenix. I think Bolton against Midlothian. So that'll be an interesting one. Ryan, I'll let you do most of the talking on this one. Certainly from your own perspective. So actually, your tactic is not hugely different from what BTEC put out, but obviously you're doing something a little bit different with some of your players, and this has worked out well for you. How many games is this unbeaten? 5, 6, something like that.
It's 7, Martin. I think you're just
7
teasing me
unbeaten. No, well.
there. Yeah,
Did
it's
you
done
play
well.
this tactic for all of the 7 games?
No, I've changed it about a little bit. I only ever go with one striker. Usually 2 DMCs. I've done it with 2 DMCs and 3 AMCs, but generally the shape's the same. Always the 2 wing backs with the arrow to the centre midfield, to the right and left midfield.
Mm-hmm.
So I've
Yeah,
mixed it about a bit.
to my point about what we spoke about with BTEC as well. I mean, Leon Pure and Contra aren't bad players, but they're not Dede and Zambrota, are they really? Performance-wise, I mean, they might get the same numbers, but I'm not sure they're going to deliver the same. I mean, they might get the same average rating, but I'm not sure they're going to deliver the same results offensively as you've got with those 2. So I think
They're
that's
doing the business.
they're doing the business for you and your midfield as well. Alex, is that a new one for this week? I can't remember.
He played last week and didn't play that well, but he's been injured for a while, so I thought I'd forgive him a little bit and give him another run out.
Give him another go. Kale should be
Yeah,
back from injury anyway, so you could always put him back in from
yeah,
suspension,
he
wasn't
should
it?
he should be on the bench, but the chairman's obviously not read that much yet.
I didn't make it. We didn't get that far down the list. You've got Boomsong. It's pretty much the
Yeah,
same.
it's only Boomsong. Yeah, Boomsong and Kale, same person.
Pretty much.
It's very creative, this midfield and upwards, I have to say.
Yeah. There's a lot of
understand
chat.
that you create and score a lot of goals with this formation.
Yeah, and Verong, although I mean he's not made that many assists, but and he's not, but it just shows that it's not all about the actual average rating, because he's still got 5 goals and an assist and a man of the match award, and he's obviously
He's
keeping
been
his
pretty
place in
poor
here.
actually. I point out that his 3 of his 5 goals have been penalties. So I've not been overly impressed with Veron, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm confident he'll come good at some point.
Yeah, I mean, Hodgie would take that considering he's probably missed 3 penalties.
Indeed.
Yeah, and you're up against Midlothian, and they've not done well away from home so far this season. He's I think it's very similar. I think he's moved the AMC back to an MC. I think that's the only change compared to his usual formation.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's the 5 DMs. It's the Great Wall.
Yeah.
Him and Palmer use. I'm not too sure if I like Van der Vaart in centre field. I don't know. Van der Vaart's he's a great player in the game, but I never know where to play him. Neil Scally, loved by some, underrated by others. He definitely does a job though. So, and yeah, I'd probably use Novotny as a DMC or a DMR than a centre back. I don't understand what he's got. Clumpy. I'm pretty sure he's got Hoffland as well. I don't understand why Novotny's
Yeah,
getting
I'm actually just double checking that. That could be.
But it's been like that all season. Hoffland, he says that Hoffland is his best defender, but he never plays him.
Yeah, I mean
Well,
that's a little bit.
I tried to
Curious.
buy him and he wouldn't sell him, so he's obviously got some faith in him.
Yeah,
Right.
I tried to swap him with Ferd, and he wouldn't swap with me. So
Right.
Right.
Curious.
He obviously rates him.
I am just scrolling up here, looking through the previous comments and things like that to try and see if I can find his tactic, because that's, I mean, I wouldn't have thought that Novotny would. No, Novotny is playing there, gave it in goal. Oh gosh, no, that's not right. That's not gone well, has it? Oh,
What's that?
Montero's back. Yeah, no, it's right. Montero and Novotny at the back. Adel, Ramalov, Scally, Gattuso, Gerrard. Or is that the previous week's formation? That was the previous week's formation. Oh well. Um, da-da-da-da-da. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. Here, I mean, obviously, only the
I can
best and most professional streams here. But he played Novotny in defense last week, so I mean, according to my screenshot that I have here, so maybe it's
He does
maybe it's,
play there, and I just think when he's got such a wealth of talent in centre defence, that why is he choosing him ahead of the others?
mhm,
Montero was one of the best on the game at the start, first
mhm,
couple of seasons, so I can understand that completely. But I just think if he's got Klompe, Hoffland, and Roque Jr., who I think are all, I mean, they're all better than Novotny at centre back. So,
mhm.
and
Yeah,
I
so
quite like Novotny, but I'd probably use him as DMC or a DMR.
mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
and
no, I've double checked the formation, and it's definitely correct. But with Novotny in that role, so yeah, we'll go with that. So apologies for the slight delay here, and and we'll get that kicked off. I'm glad to see someone agrees with my Scally assessment. That's
I don't
the
like Scally either. He sucks.
oh well, that's that's everyone told. Then let's see, let's hope for Bolton that Scally sucks, and we'll see how things pan out here in the first half. I didn't ask predictions, Ryan. I'm guessing you're going to go with a home win.
yes, yes, it's got to
and
be
and
a home.
and Andreas, I mean,
Alltså,
if
this Mavlovian tactic, it's too defensive. You can't play this defensive away from home. You will not score enough goals, and in Championship Banner, you will still.
Come on, Bolton.
Okay, yeah, that's game over.
Oh,
right, okay, he's going to have to get back in. So I'm gonna
oh,
actually, who's been playing the worst? So it's either, I mean, Ramalov. I mean, and the people are going to complain, but I am actually going to take Scally off and put the Clump in there, and just leave those because we've got to leave him
take
with a chance of
take
scoring a goal.
Gattuso, take Gattuso.
Gattuso's been playing for a 7, to be honest.
Take Q off. I mean,
Put Given up front as well. Should we just do a quick? Goes for it. Keep her up on corners. Right, we'll kick off and see what this brings up to halftime. No further goals. I mean, to be fair, good conversion rate. One shot, one on target, one goal. Not the proudest moment for Iker Casillas, who has been quite good so far this season. Yeah, Ryan. After that build-up, I guess not anticlimactic for you because you know you're doing well. You're winning.
yeah, I'm satisfied. Obviously, I mean, he's a bit disappointed to concede the goal. I think that was like one shot on target he had. The team seems to be playing well though. Raul, can't seem to be getting the tune out of at the minute, but yeah, delighted that Henri's starting and scoring.
Mhm.
Veron as well. After we just talked him down a bit before the game, he's got a goal. So yeah, I'm satisfied and a bit, well, a bit more, say, less anxious now that he's down to 10 men.
Yeah, that's true. That's always good. It doesn't look as if your players do a whole lot of passing. It seems to hold on to the ball quite a fair bit. Not so many touches there. From Midlothian,
No,
I mean, I don't know what's happening in this game. Look at the amount of touches that each team has had, or passes that each team has had. That's kind of weird. But anyway, I,
both teams must be playing long ball, Martin.
but if you look at the amount of action that's been in the game, it's not been it's not been a whole lot. So maybe a little bit cagey. I don't know. Veron, it was a header for Veron, a little bit unusual perhaps. Henri picked up a rebound and scored the goal. Kuhl with a great direct free kick for Kuhl. So there's people other than Danielson that can do that. And another push. Henri was pushed over by Novotny. Novotny received the red card. So yeah. So decent first half for you guys. I guess none of you see a way back. Andreas, what can Midlothian hope for in the second half? Just to keep it 2-1, or do they realistically have a chance of getting a goal back?
If they don't let 4 in, I'd be surprised.
You'd take that, Ryan, wouldn't you?
I'd take 4 definitely. I'll be honest. I'd take 2-1. A win's a win. I'm not greedy with the goals. But yeah, a win's a win. I'd be happy with that.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see if Figo can live up to his sort of current or his recent form. Anyway, it seems as if you're still certainly the team creating the chances, but yet to secure
Close.
the third goal.
Come on, lads. Come on.
A couple of chances for Midlothian, to be honest.
It's close, yeah.
Yeah. Failing to close out the game could cost you right at the end.
Ooh.
Ooh. Dede
Here
with a
we go.
cross. I mean, to be fair, I think you've had most of the second half, and yeah, maybe a little bit more exciting than it perhaps should have been in the second half near the end. Standard Midlothian away performance, I guess.
Yeah, I was a little bit behind you then. I think my stream's a little bit behind you, but yeah, relieved. As I said, I am happy with the 2-1. I'll take that. Like I say, dominated, but couldn't add any more to it. But win's a win. Yeah, he's done. Considering he's down to 10 men, he's done a good job defensively. He hasn't created too much, but he's done a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're looking at the stats, I mean, they picked up a couple of yellows, but Gattuso did quite well. Obviously, Novotny got off. Klompe came in, got a 7. Maybe that'll earn him a start. As you mentioned, Van der Vaart, perhaps not the best player in that position, but also, difficult being down to 10 and up against maybe on paper a superior team, certainly considering your recent form. Veron, man of the match. You said it was time for him to pick it up a little bit, so you got to be reasonably happy with that.
Yeah, I'm glad he's listening. Yeah, class performance. Got the goal, even if it was a header. Yeah, I mean, actually, I'll take any win. Seemed to do a few more passes in the second half as well, which is nice. Alex turned up after a poor performance last week. Yeah, I'll take a 2-1 win any day.
An assist for him. Raul, the captain. Is he?
Yeah, he's just not been on it, has he? Really. I don't think I don't know if you want to click on me. I think he's scored 1 goal all season, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's got 11 games, well 12 now, and 1 goal and 1 assist, and a kind of a poor-ish average as well. Anything you could do different for him? Change his instructions or replace him?
You haven't played him at forward any game, right? You're playing him at AMC every game.
Every game, or I played him AML twice as well, but that's where he scored actually when he was playing AML.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. If I go 2 up front at some point, then he'll definitely he's an option up there as well. But I've in my home saves, I've got him a better tunes out of him playing him at AMC. So I'll stick with him. I think I might give Messera a run out next week. But I just don't really want to drop him because he's been my captain for every game. So he's one of them you don't like dropping your captain.
Yeah, I mean Stefan Henshaw has also done pretty well for you at central defense. Perhaps not someone I would have picked out as one of your best players before the start of the season, but with 19 marking, 18 positioning, good stamina, good tackling, he's been perhaps not with the best average, but he's certainly been a big part in your defensive success recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's top class. I think if you do an in-game comparison, I think I was talking about he's better than Maldini. But
True.
Obviously that doesn't include certain stats, I believe. I don't know. You have to ask Alpha, but where he ranks on actual defenders in the list. But yeah, I like him. Yeah. He's underrated. I think him and Igor Biscan at Liverpool are 2 players who kind of go under the radar a little bit, who can be absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I had never had any doubts in Stefan Henshaw's ability.
Very good. Yeah, he's done well. He's definitely done well. And for Ian, it's another poor away result. Unfortunate for him. So he's gonna have to go back on.
Yay!
And now we see Philip Mexes. So Thiago said that he would. I can't remember what he would do before he played Mexes.
But he has a dummy player on the bench instead of Recoba.
Yeah. Yeah, Recoba doesn't get a game. So Chudley are the home side. They're going quite attacking here. They're trying with the what do you call them, the two left-sided guys at AMLs and AMR. They're trying with that tonight. Andreas, what do you think of this formation? It's different, isn't it? With the AML and AMR, we haven't seen that since Ryan tried it early on this season with let's
I,
call it limit. Let's be kind and call it limited success. Although Raoul did score.
I think that the formation could definitely work. The issue I have with Shadley is that they don't have enough good players. I think probably he's been dealt a really poor squad compared to a lot of other teams. Yeah, I know like Mendes da Silva is good, but he's very young. And Gallardo, he's not really good. Romedal is not very good. Pusancini, he's not really that good for this level. Marinho, not really that good for this level.
Mm-hmm.
Kerr is very young still. It's not like the best of squads. Probably that more than the tactics, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I quite like the tactics. I'm being honest. The only thing I think I've used something similar myself. The only thing I would do would have arrows on Pazzanini and Romedal, putting him to the right forward and left forward things. But yeah, I kind of I don't want to disagree with you too much there, Andreas. But I think he's got some good players there. He's Rossini's quality, Liverani's quality, Van Bommel. Sami Hyypiä is one of the best defenders on the game. He's got Palyuka in net, who's definitely the best of his keepers, who I think he must start the game as one of the top three. I know he's quite old. Mendes da Silva's good. I understand what you're saying about the centre midfielders, though. Gallardo and Kerr, very young.
It's difficult when I think it's difficult. I mean, I have obviously, for those of you who've watched the transfer shows and things like that, I have tried to find like other central midfielders, but it is very difficult. I mean, in your home save, it's fine, yeah, because you can pick and choose between 5, 6, 7 maybe good MCs, but when you have to split 5 or 6 or 7 good midfielder centers out between 14 teams, then some people are going to miss out. And although he does have Mark Kerr, as Andreas points out, he's young in the game, and it's kind of tricky to find those excellent central midfielders. So we'll see how Gallardo and Kerr do in this game. I think with the arrows forward, that should help them a little bit, but perhaps not the world beaters as Barry Ferguson, for example, not on his level, I think.
Quite like Gaston Casas myself. He's on the bench for Fridley as well.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. We might see him in action later. Hooligans,
Ooh.
completely new tactic as well.
What is going on?
Yeah.
This Deco to the left. This is crazy.
We'll see.
He's
forced by the circumstances. If anyone have very quick eyes, they might have seen Thiago. I can show you after the game. I can show you Thiago's home screen. I think he has 5. He's missing 5 or 6 defensive players through injury or suspension. I think he's got 3 injured and 2 suspended. So Mendieta's still out. Sol Campbell is still out. Yakubu is out. Who's the other? Gamara is out. And who's the last central defender he's got? Whoever he is, he's out as well. Yeah. So he's really struggling.
Walter Samuel is, I guess. Or...
Yeah, Walter Samuel is the last one. They're all out.
We're having a nightmare.
So his Anelka on the bench, so who will start Nag now, I guess, then, or...
Yeah, I think Elba had the what's he got? He's got 3 games, 2 assists. I'm not impressed. I'm not sure, but he likes Elba, so Elba plays. That's just how it goes. But forced by circumstances to mix up the tactics a little bit, trying something different. So we'll see how that works out for Thiago. Mexis, he's a sweeper. Can he do a job at the centre back? Guys, what do you think the results are going to be? Andreas, who wins this one?
Shudley's form has been so extremely dreadful, and actually, I think Hooligans will take this.
With Mexis at centre back, yes, Ryan, what do you think?
Yes.
I think score draw. I think I'm quite excited for this actually now. I've seen the tactical changes. Can I put? I want that down on record, by the way. That I beat Thiago last week, and then he's changed his tactics, so I'm the man who's made Thiago change his tactics. Nothing to do with the injuries.
You've won. You've achieved the impossible. Let's kick this one off and see how it goes. I mean, it's a chance definitely for Chudley to take on Hooligans, but it could also be like something completely thrown the whole game to the wind. Maybe that's the thinking behind the two AML and AMR, that to get around kind of Thiago's very sort of narrow formation, but now he's not playing a narrow formation anymore. So this could be interesting to see how this one plays out.
He's
Stuart
blessed with attacking options, isn't he, Thiago? I'd say he's got 5 strikers there, which would get into Alf's team.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
my
He's got, I mean, on top of these guys, Elba, Ronaldo, and Anelka, he's got Rakoba, Salas, and Defoe.
well, he's got 6, I think, would be who each would be Alf's best striker.
so yeah, there is that.
But none of them are scoring today.
None of them are scoring today. Not that much created by Chudley. A little bit more created by Hooligans, but they've not really they've not done much in the way of. I mean, Ronaldo's been kind of disappointing, I think, this season with only 4 goals. Ronaldinho's really been the main man for that. Deco getting a 7 out on the wing. Yeah, I mean, not too bad, but Chudley's going to be. I mean, they're gonna performance-wise, it's kind of okay, but they're just not creating somehow not creating the chances.
Yeah,
Not working, is it? Go on, Andreas. Sorry, mate.
I think that they need a quality AMC. They're really lacking that in the squad. I'm not sure who he's bringing in the transfer window, but I'm sure hoping he's bringing an AMC. He really needs that.
There's a bit of creative a bit of a creative spark missing from the sort of attacking side, isn't there? Like to link
Yes.
because he has got. I mean, you pointed out that maybe they aren't the best, but Liverani, Hupia, I mean, they're quite good players, but maybe a little bit of creativity missing. He's definitely not getting it from Romedal. I've mentioned that before, that even as a Dane, I am not a Romedal supporter.
But Van
go on,
Bommel
sorry,
can
mate.
be really creative. Maybe
Hmm.
if you played him in a more creative role,
Yeah.
like in the central midfield with an arrow upwards or something.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Ryan, anything to add?
I think he's missing Stevie Finnan, if I'm being honest.
It's
He's
true. He was really an important player for him. Yeah, you're right. Steve Finnan is still out.
But yeah, it's been a relatively poor first half for both teams. I think both teams would have liked a goal either way. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a bit more entertainment second half.
Yeah, we'll see what the second half brings if any of the sides can break the deadlock. A couple of early chances for Hooligans, but Rossini has obviously been the key man for Chudley so far this season, and catching up with Batistuta in the top scorer chart. So and that's the first goal for Chudley, and it's one of the defense. Oh, and there's Romedal. Oh, it's really
There we are, Tim
yeah. Now
turning up.
we're definitely getting the goals in the second half now, aren't we?
Oh, it's going to be close. This. Yes, yeah. What is going on?
Oh, here comes Rossini with his 10th of the season. He's really putting the pressure on Batistuta now. There's still lots of chances for either side. Hooligans going forward now, right till the end.
Oh,
Mex is with the chance,
Close.
apparently. What a second half after that first half. That was definitely a game of 2 halves. I think we can safely say that. Yeah, where do we start with this one? That really turned around in the second half. Andreas, what do you say to that? The goal fest in the second half, as Fifey said.
Yeah. Yeah, it's baffled. I guess it's the mixes and the Deschamps at the back that cost him, because that's probably the weak link right now in Hooligans. So
And
yeah, I'm impressed by Pusancini, 2 assists. That's really
Potencini and Romedel and Gallardo, who we weren't that big fans of initially, they got 3 assists and a goal between them, so that went okay.
and it's also, this was so important for Tim. He really needed a win.
Yeah, and it was definitely not an easy. I mean, I know that Hooligans obviously suffer with some of the players missing at the back there, but if you look at the forward going players, then they could obviously still put up a bit of a challenge there. Ryan, surprised with the second half?
yes, surprised with the second half. I'm not too surprised with the result, considering how depleted Hooligans are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's pulled it out the bag there. Really, yeah, exciting goal fest. A great watch.
Mm-hmm. And
he's got Elvis scoring, Bakaroglu scoring. I think he got the goals for Chudley. I think Rossini got the third. I know that. But
yeah, Mourinho got the header. Romedel got one, and and Rossini got that one. I wonder if it's Potencini taking corners. It could be. Let's see how he got those. Potencini hit the ball towards. Okay, so that was just a ball into that. And how were the other ones? Potencini with a low cross. Yeah, so a couple of good crosses from Potencini, and then a corner from Gallardo were the goals for Chutley. And yeah, Beckham getting a 5, which is, I mean, I don't think he's that
I
good.
know you're not a fan of him anyway, Martin, but he's definitely not a defensive midfielder. I mean, you play him at winger, you can play him in centre midfield, but not a defensive midfielder,
Defensive
surely.
midfielder, that's not his greatest position. And Deco, not a great in that role either. He picked up a 6 there. So Kennedy much better on the right hand side. Did a good job there. But forced by the circumstances, I think hooligans. If we have a quick look here, you can. Oh, I can't actually go back and see. Oh, can I? Can I have a click at hooligans?
Click on the
Yeah.
league and then click on the
Yeah,
team.
yeah. So you can see here he's got Kamara injured, Yakubu suspended. So these are obviously because I'm clicking as someone else. These are the positions they were last week. Yeah. So well, Samuel out, Mendieta out, Campbell out, Yakubu out, Kamara out. So yeah, forced by circumstances to play the players that he did. So yeah, so that was it. That was it for Chutley and Hooligan. So a good win for Chutley. They're back on picking up 3 points, and they'll be back in contention for the top 6. So Timmy's got to be happy with that. And for Thiago, I think to only lose 3-2 when you've got 5 starting defensive players missing, then I mean you're not going to be happy, but you can't be too upset about it. To be completely honest, I think. Next up, we've got Hoddesdon Hornets. If anyone wants to talk me through the tactical surprises that that Craig has sprung on us here, so he's sticking with his 4-1-3-2, which have kind of served him okay. Although I mean he obviously got a decent result 0-0 last time, but apart from that, he struggled to pick up points, but still sitting quite comfortably in the top of the table or near the top of the table. Tigalco and Batistuta, Ryan, best striking partnership in the league, or?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Batistuta up there, if not the best on the game first 2 seasons. Cizalco a bit young, but always do a job. I think I probably would play Lucas Tony, but I see what he's doing playing Cizalco because he wants to develop him quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I always think that his midfield's weak. Ljungberg's not there. David Dunn's terrible. And Samuel Eto'o's not a set midfielder, but it's
but apart from that, it's brilliant.
The tactic works, so you can't knock it really.
True.
Yeah, I disagree with Fifey there, saying the centre back's not the best. I quite like Helguera, and Southgate. First couple of seasons is top class. After that, maybe not so much, but definitely get a tune out of him. Yeah, I can see why Craig has got Hodds where they are in the league. He's got the goals up there. I think he's solid at the back. Yeah, his midfield I'm not a fan of, but he's got him working. So who am I to question it?
Yeah, and I mean he's also obviously got the transfer window. I don't know if anyone's done any deals with Craig, but I'm pretty sure he's got players coming in. So we'll see what happens with that. Andreas Sloths. Still no one else using this exact same formation. It's kind of worked out okay for Sloths recently. How do you see their team and their chances today?
I've been impressed by the resurgence from Slots. Kind of with the players they have, I guess I had them at being mid-table somewhere, and probably that's why where they will end up as well. It's a little bit because Solari and Slakovic is not really. They're not really Super League level, I guess. So the tactic could work, but he should get someone better on the flanks then.
And Ballack I mean, he's done well, Ballack, to be honest, in that role. Perhaps surprising to most people.
Yeah, apparently it's been working, so.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we will see Andres D'Alessandro in action, who many people would perhaps, if you're going to play someone in that position, they would perhaps look at him first. But let's see what happened with this one, Ryan. Anything to add to Sloths?
To Sloths, yeah, just to echo what you said there. Andres D'Alessandro is one of my favourites. If Vieri's fit, he should be staying. He should be starting. If you've got two best strikers on the game, or two of the best strikers on the game, you should be playing them both. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Rivaldo early in it, and I kind of echo what Andreas said, that Solari and Selakovic aren't up to it, but he's got a good squad there. He should be pushing for top 6. He's had the start to this league, probably means he won't be this season, but I think coming in future Super League seasons, then he should definitely be involved.
Yeah, he took about 4 or 5, 6 games, I think, to kind of get results, but it seems to have picked up now. However, this is a tricky away game. Andreas, prediction for this one?
It might be. I don't think it will be a lot of goals. Maybe it will be like just 1-0 Hornets or something.
Ryan, what do you think?
I'll go away win 2-1 to the Slavs.
You think Slots are going to pick it up away? Well, we'll see. They'll definitely going to need Crespo firing on all cylinders then, but we'll kick it off and see what happens. Maybe an early goal can open the floodgates, or we can be 0-0 at half time and get 5 in the second half as we did last time out. Couple of decent chances for either side so far, but no goals in the first 15.
We know that.
Looks like Slots have the ball mostly, maybe.
Yeah, early on. A lot of action from Ljungberg as well, of all people. Yeah,
we know that Solari is going to get a goal, don't we? Know that we slagged him off pre-game.
There's a good chance of that. I mean, we can hope for a second half to match the second half of the previous match. Nothing from. I mean, they like you mentioned, Andreas. They certainly looked as if they had the ball, but it doesn't look as if they've really created anything in the first half. Ballack getting a 7. I do have instructions to sub him for Alessandro if he gets a 6, but he doesn't, so he stays on. so we'll see if that comes back to haunt him.
And Solari, they don't even touch the ball. They have nothing going on, so that's probably why he's not creating anything.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit like Chotley in the first half of the last game. The wide players, if you play with wide players, and going back to BTEC's game as well, if you play with wide players and they don't deliver anything, then you lose. Yeah, then it's no good. You could see when Kieran had it so successfully when Estebaria got like an assist every other game. Yeah, if you have got those wide players, they do need to deliver offensively. They can't just be there to defend. I think that's the kind of key lesson to take from playing with wide men. They you have to get something out of them offensively. They can't just be there to block the opposing team. Ryan, Hoddesdon need to pick it up in the second half, convert some of the chances.
Yeah, the 5 he's got it right. They need to convert. He's got the strikers to do it. I don't have much to add there really.
Mm-hmm.
I think they probably after that first half performance are no slight favourites.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll need to score.
Did you have halftime instructions for Slots, you said, or?
Yeah, there was halftime instructions for taking Ballack off if he got a 6, but he didn't. He got a 7, so he stays on. So we won't see Alessandro today, but we'll see if we see some goals in the second half. The first half was maybe not much to write home about. That looked like some kind of controversy. We'll check that after the game. There's some kind of controversy just there at the start of the half. Still Hoddesdon having the most of the... Oh, and there's the first goal.
Crespo.
Oof. And Crespo hits one back.
There we go.
And
About 5 seconds
injured.
behind you, John.
You're watching it on the YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah,
the commentary's ahead of the visuals.
Yeah, well, that's like a flashback. What does Daniel do? He doesn't have anything that resembles a left-sided defender, so Kufu is just going to have to go out there. What happened there?
Who's it?
And it's got Samuel. I mean, it doesn't. Either way, there's 5 minutes left. This is what's going to happen, and we'll see if that has any effect. That could free up some space for the Selakovic for Somerset, but it didn't. A disappointing game, I think, personally. What do you anything to add? Sigalgo getting a goal and man of the match. I mean, on an 8, that's if the man of the match gets an 8, it's not been a game worth much thought. What do you think, Ryan?
I think Rob would be happy with a point away at Hornets. Again, you kind of said that it wasn't the most entertaining watch. Craig will be happy with Sizalco scoring, getting developing, but he'll be disappointed not to get the win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my roundup.
Yeah, Andreas for Sloths. I mean, I guess it's good they got a point.
Yeah, it's decent defensively, but up front it's really lackluster.
Yeah, there's not the creativity. Let's just have a quick look and see if something controversial did happen in the start of the second half, or if that was my imagination. To help the ball on advance, tip the ball in the pass. But no, absolutely nothing. Okay, my imagination. That's fine. Yeah. I think we'll leave it at that for this game. Decent point for Sloths. Hoddesdon, I mean, at least they didn't concede 5 like they did in the 2 previous games before the Valin game. But yeah, they need to improve as well. They've got stuff to do there. Fifey pointing out that Sloth, BTEC, and Dragons all drop points, so they can they can they can take advantage of that later on perhaps. But we'll see how that one goes. First
He's
up,
off his head, that man. If he thinks he's in a league on his own at the bottom, then there's no catching it.
yeah. It's a race to the bottom in more ways than one. We've got next up. We've got Panathinaikos at. Sorry, it's the other way around. We've got Ardsley at Panathinaikos, and Ardsley's a lovely purple and white away kit. Panathinaikos, I think, pretty much unchanged from last week, apart from Nikiforenko got injured. So we've got Gerard in, and he's got a striker beginning with K. I forget his name. Is it with K? Eastern European fella. Who's his normal striking partnership? There's Nikiforenko, and who's the other one?
Who's providing the assists? It's Vasiliuk.
Oh, Vasiliuk. There, that's true.
Not Konstantinou, is it? He's got.
Yeah,
No.
it's
That's
Vasiliuk.
Ian.
Vasiliuk has not been delivering recently, so he's off. Balaban comes on, and Gerard takes on Nikiforenko's role as the creator in the midfield. Otherwise, unchanged, one at the rear, and 5 in front of him. It's kind of worked okay, and then. It's strange, isn't it? You find a formation. It had done really well for Palmer. He got to near enough the top of the league, and then he hasn't changed anything really. I mean, on the sort of looks of it, and I don't think he has, to be honest. And then it just kind of stops working. The same for Alf. You play a tactic for a while, and then people saying, oh, you should play the same and get consistency and get your players used to it, and then it kind of just stops working for no reason. What would you guys do, Ryan, if you were in a situation like that? You had a tactic that had brought you to the top of the table and didn't work for 3 games in a row. Would you stick with it, or would you? How long do you go with a previously successful tactic that stops working before you kind of chuck it in and start doing something else?
I think it depends on performances. I can understand why he stuck with it because he was desperately unlucky away at me, away at Phoenix, should I say, because he should have got at least a point in that game. I know he got beat by Dragons last week, but I don't think he actually played that badly. So I can understand why he stuck with it. I actually quite like it. Now it's his kind of trademark, so maybe not to the same extent as Alf and Thiago have their trademarks, but it's yeah. Oh, I think it'll come good again. Nikiforenko is going to be a huge miss, though.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. Yeah, he is very important for them. Looking at the Arsenal side, Ryan, he's got short arrows on the wing backs, but you don't think this is an away tactic, so we'll see how that goes.
That's Andreas. That's Andreas. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, Andreas. Yeah.
I do really like his wing backs though. Candela and Sauri could probably create something.
He probably has a slight problem here because you will notice that at DMC there's someone missing who's been quite important for him so far. He's picked up his Patrick Vieira picked up his 5th yellow card of the season, which is a suspension. And for those who didn't know, your 5th yellow card is a suspension. Your 7th is a suspension. So from now on, for every 2 yellow cards, him, Rocket Junior, Walter Samuel, a few other players are on 5 yellows, I think. So for every 2 yellows,
if I'm not mistaken. We were talking about Stefan Arnshaw before. I think he's already had 6. I'm not too sure if he's got one tonight. So,
so he could be out. Yeah. So that's something to look out for with your central defenders. Maybe if they're the ones who get picking up the yellows, is that after the 5th yellow, then they come thick and fast, the the suspensions. So, but we'll see what impact it has, if any. Milevski is a decent player, but it's a tough game, I think, away for RC Celtic. They haven't been too impressive away from home, and this tactic is maybe not the best. So Andreas, how do you see this one going? Do you think Arsenal will be able to get a result here at Panathinaikos, considering Panathinaikos' kind of poor recent form?
I saw that Seedorf is also out, so I guess Arsenal is really weakened. But at the same time, Panathinaikos with Balaban and Gerard instead of Vasiliuk and Nikiforenko. So I actually think this will be an Arsenal win, I think.
An away win for Ardsley could be
Yeah, I
interesting.
think so. Yeah.
Ryan, are you going to go with Palmer or Hodgie in this one for the? Is it kind
Ooh,
of like a Yorkshire-ish kind of derby or something like that? I'm not entirely sure.
yeah, definitely a Yorkshire derby. I think score draw. I kind of agree. It's a tight game, really. I think both teams missing players.
Hmm.
I think on paper, slightly stronger squad is with Hodgie and Ardsley,
Hmm.
but it's whether they can convert that. He's not been, yeah, he's been on better form recently, hasn't he? But he
True,
got
true.
he got hammered last week, didn't he?
Yeah, that's true. I think also a red card involved in that one. So that means that we've got Rustu back in goal. So we'll see if that impacts anything. But Palmer, without his two best creative players, I think probably. So we'll kick it off and see how it goes. An early goal, and then I'm a sucker for an early goal in these games, rather than this 0-0 at halftime and then hoping for something to happen in the second half. Um, Looks like a
It's a lot of
slightly
action.
better start from Panathinaikos.
Yeah, and I agree with Fifey in the comments. By the way, the Fiorentina away kit is very nice. So,
Oh, Nedved, was that his first goal of the season?
No, he scored a few, I think.
Oh. That's a decent start for Panathinaikos. Keeping Tristan and Morientes away. I mean, they've been so lethal together for a few games anyway. But he's without Patrick Vieira, so that could be difficult.
Tim's got some kind of.
Oh, an injury and a red card.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a tough one.
Did he kick Paul Robertson or what?
I, I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm gonna have to make it. I'm gonna have to do first of all sub the keeper, and then we'll just go like this. I think Palmer says don't change the formation. I will move Ambrosini there. I mean because this makes absolutely no sense. So I will move Ambrosini there, but that's it. That's yeah. How did that happen? That's a good one. We'll have to have a look at half time. We'll see if do they get a penalty as well, Ardsley? I mean they've missed so many this season, but Sadov is not on. I think he's missed 3 already this season. So if it is a penalty, we'll see who will get it. There wasn't even a penalty. Oh,
really?
it was Dakua. It wasn't. Oh yeah. Okay, I see. Right, I'm gonna have to educate myself on what actually happened there. Um,
Just coincidence that they happened at the same time.
yeah, absolutely. Candela looked to link past Dakua. Reckless challenge by Dakua. He went in with 2 feet on Candela. Showed Dakua a red card. Robinson involved in the game as he has to go off injured. That's a That's an
Strange one.
awkward one, and he's down to 32 fitness. That's like a I don't know dislocated shoulder or something like that. That's not an easy injury. Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. Uh, let's have a look at Arsenal's stats.
Oh,
Andreas,
handball.
this isn't an away tactic. Would you agree?
Ah, yeah, it's and also because right now he's got the defensive midfielders on the midfield, so it's really defensive. It
Hmm.
might be really hard for him to score in this game. No,
Hmm.
even with the red card, I think Arsenal will not score.
It could be difficult there. Ryan Palmer,
Uh,
he'll take it being 1-0 up at half time, but that's a bit of a blow getting your keeper sent off and getting a player sent off and your keeper injured, isn't it?
yeah, at least it wasn't a penalty, as you kind of alluded to. It's a strange one because if you probably ask him before the game, would he take a 1-0 lead and being down to 10 men at half time? You'd probably say no.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'd still, in my opinion, the red cards aren't, unless they're the goalkeeper's red carded, I don't think they have a huge impact.
Mm.
Especially because he has 5 across that midfield and now he got 4. It's not made a huge change in his formation. I'd still put him as slight favourites here, especially because Ardsley have been so bad, really.
Yeah, the lack in creativity. I mean, Joe Cole, who's another tricky one. Yeah, he's playing, but not playing particularly well, and not a single didn't have a single shot. I mean, I know the kind of stuff happened kind of late, but before that, nothing. Zero shots on target for the first 42 minutes. Well, for all the 45, but even leading up to that. And Timmy was right. It was Nedved's 5th goal of the season. I
How
don't.
did he know that? That's what I'm
I have
how
no
did
idea.
he know?
Well, it flashed in the text. You could read it in the text.
Oh, did it say it was his 5th of the season anyway?
Yes.
I
Ah,
can't
right.
remember clicking on Nedved recently. He's a decent player, isn't he?
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah.
Pavel Nedved, yeah. Well. Palmer will be happy with that, I guess. So we'll kick off the second half and see how it goes. If we get some more goals for Palmer, or if Arsenal will. Oh well.
The Ballon d'Or winner. Oh, here we go.
I mean, I don't know what. Oh well, why not? Why not 3-0 up when with your keeper sent off and a man down? I mean,
This is
this
crazy,
is
isn't it?
this is back to the drawing board, big style for Ardsley in this one. They've really not turned up.
They're like BTEC. It's up and down all the time. You never know what you will get.
They got a goal, but it was an own goal.
Oh my God!
Oh
What a
dear.
game!
One shot on target, but it wasn't that one, so they had one themselves, and then Cannavaro got an own goal. How on earth did they fail to cover Ebisand? I mean, what happened there? Uh, let's see in the second half. Cross from Jogatas on the left, Sand powered in the header. Um, Sand, oh okay, just out of nothing, just had a chance. And what happened in the end? Cannavaro deflected the shot into his own goal. Solid. Panathinaikos, Dragatas again doing a very good job on the defender left on the wing back there. Palmer's going to be delighted, isn't he?
Yeah, he's stuck with his formation, and it's worked for him. Yeah, he'd be all at moon with that, and so would I. Yeah, that's a great result.
And important for him with those two guys that we spoke about, that it was going to be tricky with those two being out, with Vasiliuk and Nikiforenko being out. So really important that their Sand came in and picked up where they perhaps couldn't, and got those two goals there for him. Interestingly, let's have a look at Arsenal's performance. Andreas, anything to comment? You mentioned that they have too many defensive players.
Yeah, I know. Artley, when you're watching this tomorrow after a long days of work, hope you enjoyed the game. And better luck next week.
Yeah, I mean Tristan getting a 5, Riquelme maybe not playing in his best position, Milevski not really doing a good as job as Vera. Joe Cole, I mean, forget it. I don't know.
Where would you play Riquelme?
Sorry,
Where would you play Riquelme?
I would have
That's
swapped those.
got to
I
be.
would have swapped them.
Cole likes to be in the hole, so yeah, I
I was
guess
going to
so.
say I would have played Riquelme because I don't think that he's with his well, he's obviously, the people who put these stats in have never seen Riquelme move in real life, because he has never got 50 in acceleration and pace. But I would say that he's too slow to play in that kind of going into to that role there. He's got creativity, passing, flair, hasn't he? Great flair, great passing, great creativity. I would swap them two round. I think Joe Cole is much better as an AMC than Riquelme, and I think Riquelme is a much better midfielder than Joe Cole, so I would have swapped them round. But
Agreed.
that's just me.
Yeah, I was just out of interest, really, because I've never I've had Riquelme a few times, but I've always played AMC. I've never really tried him centre midfield. I always think that maybe Joe Cole, he's obviously season 3, 4 is one of the top midfielders on the game. Season 1, I don't think he's really there just yet. So maybe that's something to think about for Hodgie. Maybe who else he's got in the reserves, but.
Yeah, true. And I mean, a shame that Morientes and Tristan, who had, what did they have, 14 goals between them, like 4 games ago or something like that. They just kind of stopped in the last 2 games. I mean, the last one was with the one with the red card, but this one had a red card in it as well, but not for him. I mean, is it the first time we've seen someone winning 3-1 after having a player sent off? I don't know, but either way.
What happened first game of the season?
First week, yeah. Like what was it like?
BTEC Hools, wasn't it BTEC Hools when he got?
Oh gosh, yeah, and that was even Ardsley who had a man sent off, and they still won
Ardsley
5-3, didn't they, or something? Was it 5-3? Yeah. True.
5-2 or something.
Yeah, big one there. So, well, that just leaves us with one game this evening, the one that we've all been waiting for. This is a true top versus bottom game. So this is Swinton Devils lining up like this, with Kluivert up front and not in an attacking midfielder role. So that'll probably be a little bit better. Ian Hart starts again at left back. He scored a goal last time out. Andreas, you see anything here that worry you?
Yeah, I'm worried because it's away from home, and he's due a win, and commentators curse and everything, and it's actually a decent lineup, I'd say. not too familiar with this formation myself. I've never tried it, but I guess it worked better for him when he changed to this one. So
Yeah, I think the results have been slightly better. Ryan, do you think this is a formation that do you think this is what Swindon should stick with for a while and see if they can get something out of it, because it hasn't been as bad as some of their earlier performances?
Yeah, I quite like it. I'm just looking through his 11. It looks like most of the players are actually in their best positions, which is a change. Um, but yeah, I like the 3DMCs. I think a lot of teams use that now.
Hmm.
I'd probably have Hart and Pancaro, maybe do the 2-5-1-2, might be something.
Hmm.
Think about a bit more attacking kind of thing. You're at home.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, quite like it. I know he gets a lot of flack on the game, but I think Zinedine Zidane should be playing. He's better than Oliveira. And again, Tom Madeira, I think, is probably slightly better than Klashan Huntelaar. Huntelaar I quite like, but maybe not in season one or
Hmm.
two. Yeah, but I think it's a refreshing change. I think I quite like his team. I
Hmm.
actually give him a chance there. If I hadn't seen the team, I'd probably thought no chance. But yeah,
With
I
that
actually give him a
lineup, you
chance.
might have a chance. And Andreas, despite being top of the league, your away form hasn't been. I mean, I think it's 2-1, two victories, a draw, and 2 defeats in your 5 away games so far this season. So a little bit of a mixed bag. And you've gone with a different formation this time than what we've seen recently from you.
yeah, I want to keep trying new stuff. I want to keep. I know that I post like the team quite early, so it's not like a secret what I
Hmm.
play, but I like to play with a variety of tactics and also come closer to playoffs. I will not reveal as early, and
Hmm.
it should be a surprise what tactic I play. So, and it's also when you're on top of the table, I see this maybe like a chance to try out new formations, because I'd like to have like 3 or 4 that I trust come important games.
Yeah, I mean
You,
that's a good
you
point,
hear
and I
the
think.
confidence. The confidence in Andreas there. Come playoffs, he's certain he's going to be there.
Well, I think
Uh,
hooligans. What was the score of that one tonight? I've
yeah,
already forgotten. They
both
lost
schools there,
3-2,
but both
didn't they?
lost
Hooligans
points.
lost.
So
Hoddesdon didn't pick up points. Palmerston Icos will be back as the closest challenger, I think, now after that result.
Excuse me, who are we forgetting there? We're definitely forgetting who.
Well, you'll be in third, won't you, or second? Well,
I'll
maybe
be in
you'll be in
second now,
second.
definitely.
We'll see the table afterwards. Let's kick this one off. Andreas, I'm
well,
gonna presume you're gonna go for an away win.
you never know. You never know. I think I've only got 4 goals scored in 5 games away, so that's troublesome.
We shall
I think
see.
He's gone with a Craig Trudgill formation as well, Andreas. So I think I think you've got to go into the game slight favourites though. But
Hmm.
I think yeah,
We'll kick it off and see what happens if Swindon can find a way back to winning ways. They have won once this season, so it should be possible, and we'll see what Andreas has got to offer. Again, with maybe Fiore, Rui Costa's maybe been one that's been a little bit disappointing so far this season.
mm.
I mean,
not brilliant.
I think you've had the better of the chances so far, but Swindon are definitely still in it.
Oof, I thought that was in then.
Keen. Ay, 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 ay.
Ay, 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 ay. That'll be Sunday. We'll have to come in and take that one. That's not an injury no, I'm not going to ask you. You're not. That's not what you're hoping for.
No.
We'll just continue. We'll have a look at halftime and see if we can tell by the fitness level how serious it was. But that's a bit of a blow.
The nice person in me hoping this is a knock, but then the competitor in me hopes he's out for the season.
Oh, and Saviola scores. So there is goals in there is goals in the side and the formation. Right, let's have a look at it. No, it's a 49, so it'll probably just be a couple of weeks, maybe 3. Not too bad for Roy Keane, but that's a bit of a blow. But Olise coming in and doing a decent job. Are you confident with that you have backup for Roy Keane, sufficient backup for Roy Keane?
I think it's Olise is probably, because I played Bataglia a few games and he just played sixes, so it's probably gonna be Olise that's gonna have to be the first cover.
Hmm. And
that,
Cafu doesn't care what formation you play, as long as he gets to play on something that resembles the right hand side, he's going to get a good average and score and provide the assists. So that was him today as well. Perhaps your most important player so far this season, Cafu, or one of them anyway.
yeah, Cafu and Keane, definitely.
Ryan, for Swindon, I mean, performance-wise, it doesn't look too bad. They may be unlucky to concede. Let's see the stats actually. Yeah, I mean, they're perhaps a little bit unlucky to be behind. What do you think from their first half performance so far?
Yeah, he's unlucky. I think a 0-0 or a 1-1 at half time would have been a fair assessment. But you look at Valen's team, and he's got the players to put the ball in the net, haven't he? Saviola, Shevchenko, Totti, all top class players. So I don't think he'll be too disappointed with his performance, Fifey, but I think it's just the fact that Valen are winning is an indication of the quality that he's got in his team, not necessarily how well his team are playing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to double check something. No, Rui Costa is doing okay, so he gets to stay on. Otherwise, I think we had some instructions. Is that right, Andreas? Rui Costa has done well enough to stay on the pitch.
Yeah, it was. If it was below 7, he had a 7, so it should be fine. Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, well, we'll kick off the second half and see if Valen can build on their lead or if Swindon can find a way back in. They have shown they can score goals. I mean, 3 in the last game. I know they only scored 2 of them, but it's still possible. It's still possible. I don't know if they have any dead ball specialists. That could also be a bonus or something that could be a chance. Oof. I mean,
yeah, it's close. Oh,
I was going to say they're definitely in with a shout, Swindon, aren't they? They've had a lot of chances in the second half.
Yay.
But it's difficult to keep Shevchenko down. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it was 100% sure. I wasn't. Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean.
Whoa, what is going on here?
Is it okay to ask for Rui Costa in the middle?
I was just going to check their position. Rui Costa is central and Nakata is right, so I would swap that. Yeah, so I mean, where's the creativity going to come from now? You can maybe say that you're going to get a player with higher fitness that comes in for the last 20 minutes. Maybe that will have some kind of impact, but we'll see if you're able to hold on. Oh, that comes Giuliano comes up for a corner, I think, and that should probably be it. Although we did see a lot of goals in the last 10 minutes in the last Swindon game.
It's better now. This looks good, better now.
Yeah, I think fitness levels starting to tell. Yeah, 3-1 victory in the end.
Yeah, he lost Keane. Lost Keane and Totti and started playing better.
Yeah. Yeah, Keane and Totti both injured, unfortunately. So whoever's playing Valen next will have that to look forward to, slightly better. Maybe they will think there will be slightly better options for better opportunities for them there. Cafu getting an assist, Shevchenko getting an assist and a goal and a man of the match award. That would be important for you if he really starts performing as the top striker that I think he is in the league. To be honest, if I'm saying a wasted opportunity, I'm not. Well, yeah. I mean, 3-1 is maybe a little bit harsh, but there's still a lot of shots on goal to concede when you're at home with 7 defenders. So there's still. But yeah, with Keane out, it was a missed opportunity. Andreas, happy with the result and the performance?
Yeah, I'm really happy that we created as much because that was been really troublesome away from home so far. So I think this formation, yeah, it might be that I bring. I don't think I will play there at home, but I might bring this as an away potential tactic.
Well, it worked for Hoddesdon away against you last week. I mean, they got a draw, didn't they? A goalless draw away. So yeah, and you've had success with it here. So maybe that's something for other people who've struggled away from home to maybe consider. Lisa Rasu perhaps a little bit disappointing, but you've got an alternative on the left back, I think.
Yeah, Soren has played 3 games. They got an 8 all games, so it's really a good backup on that side.
Yeah, a chance that we'll see that Lisa Rasu lost all his 4 tackles, which is not perfect, but yeah, so tackling wise, not that great. Ryan, looking at the Swindon performance, you said that it was, they had players in better positions, and generally looking a little bit better. Would you stand by that? I mean, it looks like it was a fair assessment prior to the game, and it still kind of looks like a fair assessment now.
Yeah, I think I mean, with the players he's started with, it's not a bad performance. Pancaro's played all right. Ekiog and Mendes. I think that's not a bad centre back partnership, really.
Hmm.
You got to. I just think he needs more goals in the team, doesn't he?
Hmm.
And it's that's what's the issues for him at the
Yeah,
minute.
Holland and Cambiaso not really living up to I mean expectations. I don't know what the expectations are. Cambiaso not done too badly, but 7 average. Holland, I mean they've got decent stats. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's difficult to say why they're performing the way they are, but apart from that, a bunch of positives to take from it. I know that Fifey doesn't really hear about positives, considering that he lost, but a bunch of top positives I think personally, performance-wise, to create their 13 chances, 6 of them on target against the league leaders. Okay, fair enough, you lost, and so it won't help you, but at least there's light, and Kluivert has to play up front every single game. I don't know why he's not, but that's my opinion.
I'd
Uh,
have he's all three of his outfield players on his bench. I'd have starting every game.
West
So
Zidane and Tomadera. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, Tomadera is still quite young, but he's probably better than Hunter. Well, he's in fact a lot better than Huntelaar, to be honest. Zidane,
he's
perhaps as
also
well.
he's also got Deisler, who he wouldn't sell to me. So he obviously has some kind of feelings
Hmm.
towards him, but he's not playing him. He's definitely a lot better than Oliveira.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens for next week. So my goodness, an hour and a half. Yeah, time flies. So that was the that concludes the action. The 6 games. We'll go straight to have a look at their table and see how that's affected it. So in fact, you aren't second, Mr. Aldred. You are
Oh,
third.
goal difference. I was third.
Not that any of us mentioned Churchtown, obviously. Sorry, Kieran, we completely forgot about you. But yeah, hotting up. I mean, just as I mean, we think it can't get any closer, and then it just gets a little bit closer again. I mean, it's from what from second to seventh. It's 3 points now. I mean, Chutley, despite their improvement in form and their win, 20 points, they stay seventh. I think, didn't we say that 40 points isn't that the magic number to get in the playoffs? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Or neither of you
I
were
think
there last year, so neither of you were
yeah.
managing
Well,
last year. But I think
Palm,
Palmer has a formula.
Palmer's
Palmer has a
theory went
theory.
from, but Palmer missed out on the playoffs with 30 points, I do believe. So it was kind of disproven his his theory. I think 42 would definitely do it in my head. I think he'd be very unlucky if he got to 42 points and missed out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Timmy
I mean,
points out stay seventh. I mean stay below the line. I thought he was unlucky not to get above the line with a win, but that's just how the other results kind of worked out. Sorry, Ryan, you were saying.
yeah, Palmer's theory I think was that 40 points makes the playoffs. Then he went and missed out on the playoffs, getting 40 points. I think to definitely make sure you need 42 points in my head to get there.
Hmm.
Which, yeah, those in the top 6 at the minute. We're halfway through the season, and you mean you times them by 2, and Hooligans and Holliston make it with 42 points. If you
Hmm.
got 40 points, as in if Cannons get the same performance in the second half of the season, I know it's not going to happen like that, but they'd be
Hmm.
on 40 points and miss out.
Yeah.
Also, just point out that Valen's starting to make a little gap there at the top now, 4 points. I know it's only 4 points, but it's a big enough margin when the rest of the league's so tight.
Yeah, when the results go the way that they do with a lot of with a lot of people beating each other home and away. And we can see here, 7 wins and fourth position for Parma. They've got 7 wins and 5 losses, so it's really spread out. Yeah, let's have a look at that. That's actually interesting. Good point there, Tim. We can see which teams have more home games in the second half of the season. So we've got Midlothian, Val and Ardsley, Hooligans, BTEC, a couple of others that have got 7 home games so far this season, and Chotley's one of the few teams in below the line that've got more. They've got 8 home games in the second half. Will it be or 7? Sorry, in the second half of the season. Away result wise, I mean, important for many people to pick up points away from home. Kieran's played 7 and he's picked up 13 points away from home, so that's probably an indicator of where he's going to be towards the end of the season if he can continue that form and press on at home. Ryan, you quite happy with your away performances so far this season? I mean, overall, I'm not saying that if you don't include a couple of early defeats, but the way it's going currently.
Sorry, I'm just eating some. Yeah, we're doing all right. same amount of goals scored for and against away from home's not bad.
Hmm.
I know Andreas was saying he was not very happy with his away form, but only conceding 5 goals away from home is pretty impressive. Won 3 out of his 6 games. I think it's very good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Martin that said that I had an unimpressive away form. I just pointed out that I didn't score enough, but yeah, I get
yeah,
it.
that's true. I mean, for a Super League team to have 2 wins and 1 draw in 5 away from home. I mean, that is actually pretty good. That is actually that is enough to be near the top, isn't it? To if you pick up those amount of points, especially now with your 3 wins. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects the second half of the season. But maximum 13 points away from home. I mean, there's a few teams that don't even have that at home. So good a good return for Kieran, but you really need to pick up points both home and away. I think to like Ryan, you say to reach those 42 instead of the 40 as we perhaps previously spoke about, because it looks as if 42 is going to be pretty much the magic number. Um, I'm going to cut it short there, guys. That's halfway through the season. I've got a bunch of transfer deals to go and do, so I'll let you know
Have
what
a
goes through and what
quick look at
doesn't.
fixtures if you don't mind.
Oh
Sorry
gosh,
about
yeah, sorry,
that.
yeah, you can have that look at that, of course, yeah. Yeah, B ticket home
Yeah,
to
so
Ardsley. That's 2 teams that are impossible to predict face each other. Who can predict the result?
yeah, I've got Somerset. So I think is it a complete reverse of the first half of the season? Somerset was my first game.
This is my first game also. I was away to Shudley first game.
So it looks like it might be a
Yeah,
complete
it is because
reverse.
Hooligans had that 6-1 away to Astor when Sol Campbell got out. So
Oh,
yeah,
yes, indeed,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
yeah.
we had,
So
we had Ardsley beating BTEC after losing a man as well.
oh gosh,
So
yeah,
yeah.
that's right. We spoke about that already. And Swindon at home to Hornets in a reverse of that slightly controversial first game for Craig. So yeah, so a complete reverse of the first round of fixtures. That'll be interesting. So then it'll give people something to compare about how they've improved or not as the season has progressed, and perhaps some of the deals will go through. But um, as you can
How,
see, the
how many
in-game
game
date
days?
is now the
It's 3.
19th. These games are on the 22nd. I had kind of overlooked that, so there is a reasonable chance that not a single transfer will go through, but we'll see. We'll see if there's anything. We'll see when the next one is. The next one is then on the 5th of January. So it's unfortunate that the league breaks up after 14 games instead of 13. I had miscalculated that. But either way, we kick off the transfer market now, irrespective of the dates, and I'll let you know if any of the transfers come in before the next round of games. So that's pretty much it. Anything to add? Any questions, guys? Last minute.
No, that's great, Matt, and I'll let you crack on. Thanks a lot again for having us on. I'll let you
Yeah.
know you've got a busy night ahead, so I don't want to keep you too late.
No,
Uh,
that's all right. I mean, I said I would try to keep it an hour. We've done an hour and 40 as usual, so I don't know. I think it's my fault, to be completely honest. Andreas, anything to
No,
add from you?
no sneak peek at the injuries for Keane and Totti.
if, you- if you desperately want, we can have a quick look and see how that's
That's
gone for these guys. You'll find out. 10 days with a
10
damaged elbow.
days.
Totti a month with a groin
Ooh.
strain. So I mean, you're lucky we've got like a 2 or 3 week winter break.
Yeah.
So but
Yeah.
you will miss him for a few games. I will just see what happened to, was it Palmer who got the keeper injured? Was that Robinson who got injured? Yeah, 3 weeks with knee ligaments. So that's a sneak peek at that as well. Anyway, guys, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for everyone for joining in online and watching and participating in the chat. And you'll hear from me soon. Good night, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good night, lads. Cheers.
Good night.